And all the players underway, sir!
El brasileño quiere la cuarta, 2 en contra de 1, 6 en contra del mundo, prueba suerte el primero, el segundo, ¡Dios mío! ¡Dios mío!
Hey everyone, here with Coach Kaplan of Sentinels. A back and forth map, but you eventually run with it and take it. The question I want to ask you is, we were guessing up your deadlock on the analyst desk, and we were like, oh, this is so cool, John QT is so great, and you took it away. Why?
Just like, you know, keeping people on their toes. Learned a thing or two from last split, and we'll see if we keep it up or not.
Well, why did you switch from 1 week to the next? Why would, if the deadlock works so well that we were literally gassing up how you use deadlock, why switch back to a Cypher?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at a point where we're pretty flexible and we've had a lot of time that we can use to cook extra comps on extra maps. So we're in a position where if we feel equal about a couple comps, might as well just throw a team's prep off, give them a surprise. It's an easy way to switch things up, is changing agents, so yeah.
Well, best luck on map 2.
Thank you very much.
Sentinels pulls off the win, but they were nearly surprised by a crew that was starting to mount a wild comeback. Unfortunately, for crew doesn't happen. Sentinels walk away with the dub. Welcome back, everyone. You got Athena along with Ender as we break down what we saw in map number 1, Lotus between crew and Sentinels. What a way to start things off, though. I thought, Ender, that this was going to be a bop. Like, with Sentinels just going to just flatten them.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. Thank God.
No, that first half was looking so dominant for Sentinels, and in kind of a surprising way, too. Like, they were able to win 5 rounds in which they were at a 4v5 disadvantage, which is crazy because Kesnet kept popping them right off the rip. He was up 6-1 in First Bloods.
Yeah, it was just overall wild ride from start to finish for this game because at a certain point, you think Sentinels is running away with it. Then Crew just start having this comeback because what they noticed was Sentinels was just playing off sites. They were able to read and get into a site every single time. And the second that they got set up in that post plant, it was pretty much over for Sentinels.
Yeah, it was. I especially just want to, again, shout out Kesnet's ability to get those opening frags.
Yeah.
Even though you look at the numbers, oh yeah, Zekken's got the bigger numbers. But in terms of openers, it was a clear difference leaning in Kesnet's side.
You see the first blood percentage.
Exactly. But continuing to talk about these sort of post-plant situations, I also want to highlight the way Crew were using smokes on site was very interesting because ever since the Viper nerfs, the way you play it on Lotus has changed a bit where you don't just get to use it for free on those A lurks. You don't throw a Rebel because you can never reposition it. But they were constantly using it in post plants on site. We had a couple of rounds where they had the Viper's Pit plus the orb on the A site. They were consistently throwing it top C as well. And it made it very hard, I think, for Sentinels to play retake.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is they had so much util left over every single time because they were able to get those first bloods and know that the site is pretty much free for the taking.
Yeah, well, we'll go ahead and continue the conversation. But for now, though, let's actually check in with Coach Adam to hear what he has to say as Elizabeth is standing by for map 2.
Here with Coach Adam of Crew Visa. A super stellar comeback that just didn't quite make it. We're gonna go into split, which is known as Sentinels bread and butter. They have a 71% win rate on the map. You as a coach prepping for that map, do you think this is, you can easily take down Sentinels on their map, air quotes, or is this gonna be a harder fought battle?
I think that easy will never be against Sentinels, but I think it's also a really good map for us. So I think it's going to be an interesting map, and I think we already gained some pace, so I'm pretty confident that we can take this win.
Best luck on map 2.
I got to say, what Coach Adams said there about, them finding their pace, I think actually is true. You saw that at the end of that last map. It's just that it happened toward the end. There was already a large deficit against them. They managed to bring it back and then send clutches up there. That's the thing that you got to prevent against this team. Those random clutch ups, the 10's ace that he just happens to pull up out of nowhere. But split, though, that is Sentinel's bread and butter, man.
It absolutely is, but this is where things get real interesting because this is the comp they've been playing all year and absolutely dominating on, but we haven't seen them play split in 2 months, right? Because they weren't at Masters. And the meta's changed, and also, they just changed a comp after 1 week after winning with it on Lotus. They're surely changing this comp after 2 months to practice.
Yeah, they literally just said, they're like, we're feeling like we're going to change it from the first week to the second week.
But what do you change it to?
Genuinely, I think
What would you do
there
as
could
a
be
coach?
some neon ideas
Okay.
on this map. Personally, I'm a big fan. But like, I think also there's a lot of angles to just remove Viper from the comp too post nerfs. Right, a lot of people were still playing her even after the nerfs to it, but just switching over and playing that breach is like a very easy sort of plug. But I feel like the agent is so busted, right?
True. I mean, the breach setting up in neon goes crazy on every single map, but specifically split.
Yes.
Because there are so many of those close corners, narrow kind of choke points that you can take. It's just so OP to get into.
You could also take inspiration from a team like 100 Thieves that stopped playing this like control heavy comp with the double smokes and the Sentinel and play for like mid-range fighting tools, right? Like there's angles to play Gecko on this map or to play a hard scout too in something like the Fade. So I don't know. I feel like there's a world where Sentinels really do revamp their style coming in.
I feel like though they're playing against a crew that knows kind of where they sit a lot, and they like to stay and stick to what's true to them. And we just saw that happening earlier. And
I think it's just a repeat.
I think they're sticking with their guns here.
I think we were the ones cooking too much. I don't know.
Okay,
Well, this is Crew. Well, let's see what Sentinels are doing.
My tinfoil, if Sen are just running it back from before, next week is when they bring out the good stuff.
And they're running it back from before, so maybe next week they bring out the good stuff.
Well, the real talk too is like Split's gonna be gone in 4 weeks, right? So like a team like Sentinels that's so good on the map could just get away with not practicing this map a ton and just sticking to their bread and butter.
Well, this is going to be fascinating to see whether or not Crew can muster it up and force a map 3, or will Sentinels end it here and now? Let's get ready for this matchup. Send it over to your casters. This is Brendan Sideshow.
We'll certainly see. I mean, it's a historic stage, right? That's been set on Split of all the maps for both of these teams. You think way back in the day, 2021, when they matched up against each other. But here and now, Sentinels, no slouches on this map. It's definitely been one of their pocket picks. It will be, missing from the map pool as we get deeper into the playoffs as well, replaced by Abyss. So, maybe Sentinels just going with the mindset of, let's see if we can get as many wins as possible just before that fateful day.
Yeah, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when Split has just been such a great map for Sen. If you look back over the course of the whole year, this was the first map where they really developed those extraordinary retake protocols. And here they come into it with a Viper wall over towards B, denying a bit of info, and Zekken straight up mid.
Unbreakable trip, surely gets removed. No, not quite, still lit up. No one was stepping into that one, still Zekken. Wins that fight out, maybe the second, definite damage done, but Kesnit reigns supreme, wins out that matchup.
And there's the clash between the two duelists, both of them landing headshots. It purely just comes down to the gun differential. Kesnit goes back over for a heal. So player advantage, but Sen should be able to get the plant down.
Crew not set up for anything fast, no flood attempts. It is Sentinels who have to take all the risks. That's what you're seeing right now. Sassy's positioning, doubled up, not making any noise. They're straight past it. Plenty of heads, plenty of targets, but spraying away and praying, hoping for any sort of opening. With the weapon picked up, betrayed by it. Sassy, not enough bullets left to do the job. Celsius, right click. That's a bit of a blessing, but still, Kesnit can stick this defuse with safety in numbers. A pistol round a win in sight and on the board now for Crew.
Bit of a fumble at the start of the round for Sentinels Protocol dealing with that trip in mid. It's a very common trip. You're going to see both teams run it. Not 100% of the time, but pretty often. And Zekken catapulted himself into it, got into a safe position to break it, but then didn't, and John ended up walking into the same one. A nice try in the post plant, in my opinion, even though it looks a bit dodgy from Tens and Sassy. They just couldn't quite spot those heads through that tiny angle around the smoke. So Crew pick up a pistol, start to get things going.
There's been a lot of deliberation as well about meta changes, shifts and away. Still that trip causing problems.
Spike down A.
You can play safely on top of this push. This trip is getting so much value. Somehow just chewing them all up.
One enemy remaining.
It's pretty evident the team's not really too interested in playing Split as a map. Trying to avoid it, obviously, with it going to be leaving the map pool soon, or even putting any much more time in it. It's a bit of a waste to really innovate past on what we've already seen this year.
And at the same time, you get teams like this who are very confident on what they've already done earlier in the year and relying on that.
Yeah.
It is a little concerning to me even across 2 rounds here, that we've had 4 people caught by trips on Sen's side.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep an eye on that. It's not necessarily a problem just yet. Klaus setting one up over towards B. This allows him to get good information over the top of Zelz's Viper setup. And that trip deployed in mid again. Sen are going to hear that.
It's really tricky to remove. You have to hard commit into it, or at least use some util.
Yeah, you can use nade, you can use satchel. You can try to get into it with a dog or something like that. And then swing it yourself to break it. Crew putting 3 players in mid now.
That's a molly committed.
Yeah, that's quite nice though, isn't it? The idea of putting a vulnerable onto somebody that would be in that corner and killing them with nade. Zekin gets it.
Yeah, takes care of the problem.
Waiting for that first defensive cycle of Kesnit and Shy prodding in that area. The Viper Orb goes down, and then Zekin can break the trip fairly freely.
Scout destroyed.
Sassy realizes now that A is fairly locked off here as
Fight
well.
over this as well. He knows that there's a hard committal by Melzer. Just holding that one close. So Sassy's entire intention here was to try and fake like there could be presence over towards A.
Kesnit versus Zekin again in B heaven.
It's going to be an important one. Sassy's still trying to make this one feel and at least drag those players and keep them tethered over towards the A site. Meanwhile, Sen seeing if they can at least get this plant down over towards the B side. Bonus round conversion potentially there. Crew still not out into the open, but tucked into the corner. Tens, but he saves the day. Kesnit though, there's a timing with the Guardian. Oh my! Trapped into the corner, rifle away. Zelsis finally wins it. Leaves it now to a 2v2. Doubled up, fades away. As the curtain drops, the stage is definitely set. The way, precision! Didn't even play a bloody part, but the bullet's running dry. It's Crew who convert the bonus.
That's got some of the sloppiest rifling in that round we've seen in the whole match. Kesnit was rewarded and denied by the Guardian in his hand. I think he got an accidental kill while he was shooting the player running away. Then couldn't land one onto the person default. Crew come away with a bonus in the most bizarre of situations. Look at some of these kills.
That's strange.
Zekin obviously throws himself in there trying to make space for his team. No. But this one felt like it should have been a kill, didn't work, and then this messy fight up towards heaven. Look at him. It's all smiles, all giggles on this side of the stage. It won't be on the other one.
Dying, man, they're losing it.
Yeah. And you've got the best players in the world, some of the best aimers we've seen.
Oh. An early punish onto Klaus and even further. Zekin steps forwards, lays claim to the A side.
And what a decision for Sen to force up here.
Certainly. Could potentially be risky, but enough rifles in play that felt like it was worth the risk. Looking like it. Essentially a round win. Kesnit.
Melzer's the only player that could do anything in this round. But he'd have to be gifted some free kills here onto Tens and Zelsis.
Surely you don't go for this. Surely you don't, but okay. Take the swing. You do have money in the back pocket if you are Crew.
Yeah, they've got
You are looking to damage the economy, so...
I think from Crew's perspective, they'll be surprised they didn't damage the economy enough in the previous round. Sen, you know, got themselves into a decent enough spot that they felt comfortable. I think they came into this round with 2 Guardians and a Bulldog. Yeah. Something like that. They full forced into it and immediately caught Crew sleeping on the job. Second opened things up, tore his way in through A.
Now, it's one way to deal with the trips.
Yeah, just kill the Cypher outright.
Exactly.
Yeah. Klaus cannot give his life away that easily. But at the same time, you don't really expect to see a player on Sentinel's side just bully their way in through A main like that. Melzer is opping on defense side.
Okay.
Now that's an unusual one.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And Zekin did take a face into A main there without really, you know, too much behind it. So maybe they're hoping to punish what they just saw.
The slow siege here being played by Sentinels.
Same trip is going to cause them a bit of trouble. But we've seen Crew's protocol is to put up the orb, think about crossing Shy over towards B heaven.
Hitting a flash. Push them back away, give some space to at least break that trip, so you can see the protocols in play, the cogs are turning. Gonna head to the Sentinels players.
Yeah, and both of these teams seem very comfortable around how they want to operate in these spots. And when you have two great teams clashing like this, sometimes it is the unexpected that tips the balance, like Zekken being able to pick up 2 in the previous round. And this unusual decision of Melza picking up the operator may end up paying dividends yet.
First time a flash was used by Heat in this round, but now surely, yeah, there's the timing. Sending it. He's with the Trailblazers, still locking it down, not stunned up. And now, surely for the taking, Heat. He's hopped up onto the angle, seeking the support, but doubled up and gone for it again. Kesnit arrives to the party, heavily late, but maybe potentially there still. With the rocket going flying, Sassy with brute force, can't make it happen. Tens just on 45 health. Spike is dropped in the middle of nowhere. Klaus cleans up.
And if it is the unusual that ends up turning the tide in matches like this, what could be more unusual than the Omen anchor playing over towards A with an operator down that line?
That's bizarre.
And that plays into the way that Sen like to take angles. Zekken is facing there with the dog at his feet. Zekken's timing and coordination is very, very good off those Trailblazers, but it doesn't help you when there's an operator on the other side. A shutdown. Zekken not able to get anything done. And Sen forced to hit the drawing board again. Zekken's picked up the Bucky in this one. He's going to be going fast with the showstopper, surely. A crew ready?
It's got to be a quick play. Yeah, of course they're ready. Melza is the one taking the earliest peek. It's an over-the-map nade. Full intention of it to try and break some of those trips as well, but trips are not what's waiting for you. It's the crew bodies and players stacked up, ready to just deliver that final blow.
You saw the timing there. Tens was ready to swing off Sassy's flash. Kesnit got in front of it. Preempted that timing.
Here.
Gets a kill. Crew are playing immaculately so far.
They've missed the timing here still. Celsius creeps up, will reveal a little bit of their hand.
Now, why have Crew got 4 players A ramp currently? Really, just to guide the neural theft into position.
Gives them that info. Stacked up towards mid. Full marathon sprint now. Rotations abound. You see that Trailblazer spotting at least the one. Going to be broken. Still the cam. It's going to be a problem. Has to be broken. Zekken pulling out. Finally, Sassy does win that fight out through CT.
This pit here, the showstopper.
Very committed showstopper. And that's just to buy them time. The fuse. It's going to be burnt down to a crisp.
They're looking to try to win this 3v5. And Crew gave them the B site.
How'd you play this one into the pit? Melza drops back. He's looking for the rifle. He knows it's useless. Carrying that operator into the pit. Paranoia sweeping through. Shots are fired. It's blind luck that really stands a chance right now for Crew because they just need one to be on the board. But everybody topples. Everybody falls. Player disadvantage, man disadvantage. Did not matter for Sentinels in that spot. Not one A was set up like that.
Thus far, I've been really impressed with the way that Crew has called. I think they've had great ideas on the attack side and the defense side, but I'm a little baffled by that decision to stack 4 players over towards A ramp, give up every piece of map control just to get a Cypher ult off and know that you've lost the B site.
Let's go, boys.
Nice recovery. Okay, it's okay. That's my bad on the...
Evil hard committal for the neuro theft, or maybe just expecting, like they had a hard read that it was going to be a contact clear again, or...
I mean, even with a hard read, at
hit.
least put somebody on the other side of the map so that you've got some level of control. They genuinely just opened a free path for Sen to run mid to B. They knew that the trip had been broken in mid as well. I mean, that is a 5v3 that Crew have flushed down the toilet. And now they've got to take an eco round. Now Sen are back in the game. These are the tiny little gaps that once you open the door a crack, suddenly Sen are going to slam it open with a couple big plays, a big round, an anti-eco like they've got coming up. You just can't afford to give a Masters winning roster any openings.
No. They're going to pounce on any sort of weaknesses they spot. I think it speaks volumes as well of the mindset coming into that round that they were expecting to potentially lose it because the timeout was queued up.
Yeah, that is
they
a
won the
great
round,
point.
heading into it, Sen giving, Crew the time to stew and think about their mistakes.
That's a great point. Coming out of all of those rounds as well, you always see Kesnit having some kind of big emotional reaction. Shy gets caught at the start. Great shot.
Oh, man.
There's still an eco round, though, remember. Kesnit with a hero rifle, but the others are all ready to buy for round 8. So Crew have not invested heavily. It's always Kesnit, though, like I'm saying, it's like reacting out the back of one of those disappointing moments. He wears his heart on his sleeve.
He does.
He's the kind of player that demands respect, gives none of it in return, but just by virtue of being such a superstar, he's able to create openings for his team, and I think he's got a real chip on his shoulder, too, because of the fact that so many people have forgotten that Crew are a dangerous team, and Kesnit's a top-level player.
This team definitely build around him. Make sure to invest a lot of these guns and rifles. Zekken playing spoiler in this round.
He's about to get another showstopper.
Yeah.
He's got the plant. He only needs 1 kill or a death. You just send Zekken running forwards to try to take another fight.
Might as well
as
go
he's
hunting.
about to, into heaven.
Exactly.
And either way, they have an enormous ult for round 8. That's fine. Zekken now has ult. No worries whatsoever. As long as the Sentinels are still able to convert the 4v2. And I think it would be tough to lose. Kesnit also is incentivized to try to keep a rifle online, though he's not going to be allowed to.
Loses it.
450 credits.
That's the thing with that investment. Mel's got to try and save this one. Here, the weapon pickup. And he's going for the spam. Oh, do you take this fight, Melzer? That's crazy.
That's bonkers.
Okay.
He's going to get away with it, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense. Don't try to run away. Take the fight to 10s.
That's brave, but shows that they still have that confidence at least. And that they can win those fights.
But yeah, this next round is going to be a barn burner. Crew have got their rifles back online. Their defensive setups were working really nicely, but now they've got to deal with Zekken heating up with an ult on the other side.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Question now for Crew. How do you adjust your setup? Anticipating a showstopper.
Yeah, and they've got
nice and slow at the beginning, but
trips over towards A, and Melzer's going to be anchoring B.
Fakes a TP.
Yeah, I like this as well. It's probably going to make Sentinels use more utility over towards B main, and Crew are just hoping to have a better idea of where this is going to end. The earlier you get the idea of where the showstopper's coming, the more you can avoid it.
Poison's off.
Shy with a reposition. Curtain drops. That is a little bit messy still, Celsius.
Beautiful snake bite from Celsius kept Kesnit back. Kesnit could not trade that because there was a molly at his feet.
So full control of B main. Klaus now left alone.
They found my wife.
Everybody going to be quickly pushing themselves into his position here. He's holding it quite far back, not exactly committed. And Zekken hasn't had to use a showstopper. He's got himself into the site now, into this post plan. An important tool is going to potentially win them the day, and as soon as he hears that util coming flying forwards, Sassy with a flash, and the ult alone is enough of a sticking point. Look at it. Trepidation in the stepper Crew. They don't want to overstep themselves. It has bought a little bit of time. Still without heavy control. Revealed up. The options are narrowing. What can Crew do but save again?
No way! They're going for the save in the 4v5 retake.
Yeah.
Wow, that is unusual.
That's a lot of respect. A lot of respect for Sentinels.
They didn't even try to fight for screens or fight for A ramp. That's the other thing. They just called the save while they were all still in A lobby.
Yeah.
I mean, that is huge amounts of respect. If you're not even going for retakes when Sen, you know, pops some level of post-plant aggression, just a rocket gets popped, or they try to fight somewhere aggressively with a paranoia, if you're going to give them that level of respect, you're just not going to win rounds against this team.
No. It's going to be playing into Sentinels' heads. They're going to be sitting in that spot, that position, wondering, where are they? Where are they at? And then the realization, I mean, it creeps in that they've saved in a 4v5 in that spot, and you're like, okay, well, these guys, they're not playing with confidence.
Yeah, and look at how the game has shifted. 4-4. Senna right back into this. And almost, you would say, with the advantage. Crew looked like they were dominating at the beginning of this map.
Mid-control's been the name of the game so far.
Yeah, and I think the Klaus has done a good job of fending off Zelsis over in this side. But there's just so much pressure all over.
Satchel doesn't get shot and broken, breaks up the trip into mid, so everything's really being dealt with. Melzer Got deep control of A main, but that's pretty much it.
They've broken both of Klaus's trips, and now Klaus is going to be asked to do the most.
Hooked up to the side, just trying to dodge this Trailblazer, just about breaks it, backs himself away. He knows the Sen have surely got position into the side. Tenz's cut them up and crossed them up, at least with his TP. Does Klaus want to make a go of things here? It's Whippy, Sassy. All he had to do was direct his attention, and he won the fight out himself. Up and over, still running themselves in. Shy, unfortunate with that timing, dropping it across. The last few bullets is all it takes. Second. Sky is unleashed, but finally dropped down, but he's left in a 1v3.
Planted.
Here's the reload. Very little when it comes to the chances that he has available. Wrap himself around, hoping that maybe somebody's flanking, maybe somebody gives him that easy kill, but just now with a position, it's obvious.
Nothing to be done.
Yeah.
So one of the things that Crew are really struggling with in this situation, when Klaus backs up into CT, he waits for Kesnit to connect together, and they're hoping that they can execute a big flood defense. But Sen put a pause in the round, a really odd timing of the pause. They get Tenz into backside, and then everyone on the attack side just holds for a moment. A bit of a pump fake, waiting to bait out something from Crew, and they do. They bait out Klaus into going slightly too aggressive. And from Crew's perspective, it looks really uncoordinated. Crew's going forward, Kesnit's kind of baiting him, he can't get involved. But that's because, look, the Sen players are not scaling into sight. They're not taking space aggressively. They're waiting for that next move coming from their opponents and set up to punish it.
Last player standing.
Anticipating what Crew are going for really beautifully and not falling into their trap. Feeling each other out, finding that timing. 4 in a row for Sen.
Yeah, 4 rounds straight. Take the lead now, 5-4 in the map. Potentially the series here as well.
And I feel like when one team has the read on how the other wants to play, you're looking at star players at that point. If Sentinels are basically in Crew's heads and understanding exactly what they want to do, then Crew need to find that individual strength to rely on. Kesnit's at the top of the scoreboard, as is Zekken, right? This game has been about how those star players, superstar players, clash and who can create more impact on the other side. But whereas it was an early lead for Kesnit, I feel like these last few rounds have been Zekken. He got that 2K to open the door for Sentinels, and then since then, he's just been so sharp with it. Neither of the duelists opting into the new duelist meta of running the Neon or the ISO, sticking to old reliable Rays and delivering some incredible performances. And Zekken also dominated the game against NRG playing Rays.
Tried and tested the comps. No point switching it up. Only a few weeks left of seeing Split in play, so it's not going to be committing too much time to it. With the timeout on the other side of things, it's a half by roughly from Crew. Once more putting the rifle into Kesnit's hands. It was Shy that originally had that.
Now Sassy has been applying pressure over here, as has John. So Crew are going to try to punish this player.
Well made noise. Oh, he's trying to timing it across. He's stunned up. Going to be jumping on him. Is there any sort of follow-up? Melza just really tries to overextend. Whoa! What is that? It's second. It'll make him think twice about any aggressive play again.
It feels like every time Kesnit pops his ultimate, somebody from Sentinels is just barreling towards his face.
I mean, this kid is different. Decision-making in that moment. Shy's left to do anything at all. Stunned up. Caught into the corner.
And Zekken, magnanimous enough to allow the rest of his team to pick up that final flag and build up their ults.
4 smiles.
God, he is, if not already, going to be an all-time great in this game.
Yeah.
You can just feel it in every moment of how he plays. 13-8 right now, but the pace of his decision-making.
This decision. Oh my God.
And then how he maneuvers in tough spots like that. It's just nuts.
There's no way.
A shining star of Sentinels last year, but now really the jewel in their crown.
Absolutely. Losing his jewel versus Kesnit, but quickly returned with the fire. And an advantage still held for Sentinels.
Crew seem like they want to try to force the fights. One of the big adjustments coming out of the timeout, perhaps. They wanted to force the fight over towards A. They even had a good opportunity. It's just, it all went wrong. Now this time, dropping the orb and looking to try to take the fight, and Sen just had too many players in mid. B is completely open as crew go re-exploring. 2 trips, though, for Sen to deal with. They've only spotted the first.
Must have heard the other one, at least predicting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been in the same position almost every round for Klaus. Every time that Klaus has played B, he's put a trip in this spot. Just not going to catch them too off guard.
Very similar to the previous round.
Yeah, this same
Ten's
pause
just
being
inserted,
put.
yeah, and just pausing, waiting for the response from crew. This time they are going to contact up onto the angles, but it's exactly the same, and that's how the last time that Klaus ended up giving away his life with the trip broken. Now going to be some level of awareness. Smokes fading up onto the high ground. At least firing down the shots and raining down a bit of that lead. Up close. No way! Sassy contemplating it with a reload. Still decides against it. 6 bullets all it takes with John QT. Flourish on the finish.
In the half.
I said the crew could not allow an opportunity for Sentinels to get into this game. And you see why. Sen have run away with it.
Yeah.
7-4. The last time crew got a round was round 5. Sentinels dominating the early round, the mid round, getting into post-plants, looking good there as well.
Where to hide?
Full momentum. Sentinels, no signs of slowing down.
I think crew need another layer to this.
Showstopper here for second, wants to punish to get a connection! And off the back wall. Splash damaged enough. Shy was no match.
And then they just follow the path of least resistance here. And again, another duel.
I mean, the confidence that these Sen players have right now, off the charts. Needs to be a miracle, won't be happening. Heat with just 1. 2 left to stand.
Kesnet.
It's making noise, surely up into heavens. Elsis can hear this. The exchange of the weapons.
Zelsis is just the final player, you know, the backstop. He doesn't need to make a play at this point.
Exactly, the final win condition in the round. Post-plan can still be played here. Kesnet, full wrap around. Try and play this crossfire up, but with the trip being broken, Tens, tension diverted. Paranoia through and around, and here is that insurance policy. Zelsis sinks it up with the rest of his team. 8-4. Pure domination again.
Switching sides.
Adjustments were made and they just ran away with it. Look at that string of rounds.
A lot of people going to be asking at the beginning of the stage, do Sen have that fire, that hunger, the desire to be the best again that's going to carry them to an international event, to any potential win? They're playing with it now.
Definitely are. I mean, a Sentinels team looking empowered. Road to redemption for this squad after missing out on Shanghai, but no signs of slowing down. Let's send it down to Liz, who's down on the floor.
You know, I'm here sitting down with Mr. MTA himself from crew. I know we've been talking a lot about Sentinels. We're going to bring it back towards crew. Yes, you can clap for him. We're happy he's here. So my first question for you is, there are some crew fans here, but a lot of very loud Sentinels fans. What is it like to be in this environment where, you know, they're screaming and they're yelling, but, you know, you're here with your fans online?
Es difícil igual porque hay muchos fans de Sentinels ya que estamos acá en Los Ángeles, pero es bonito igual ver ahí a los cabros apoyando siempre y a todas las personas que vienen acá a apoyar a crew.
He's saying it's hard for sure because there's a lot of Sentinels fans here in LA, but it's also good to see the small crew crowd over there.
Yes, our small crew crowd over there who's standing up the entire game. So I'm going to ask you, because in your pro player opinion, were you surprised that Kesnet did not choose the Neon or the Neon didn't work?
La verdad no, o sea, lo probamos y todo, pero lo mejor para nosotros y lo que más le acomodaba al equipo era que el Kenny jugara Reyes, los duelistas que siempre suele jugar.
The truth is not really. We tried it and it was just, we tried a couple things and what worked out the best was for Kesnet to keep playing the Raze and the Jet and everything he has been playing.
That's fair. One last question for you. You know, in your pro player opinion, what would you think the conversation is right now that Adam is having with the team? Because Sentinels just kind of ran away with this half. I think the last, they were talking on the casting desk that the last round crew got was in round 5. and put that sign down.
Yo creo que más que nada le está diciendo a los cabros que empecemos como a reaccionar, a hacer algo juntos cuando en el mid round, que siento que estamos jugando mucho retake, como que no estamos reaccionando, no estamos tomando zonas cuando ellos hacen algo, ¿cachai? Más que nada eso, que hagamos algo, un movimiento juntos en el mid round.
I think what he's telling them is to play together and also do a lot more in the mid round instead of leaving all those rounds for retake. Just play together and play together a lot more.
Well, thank you very much. Put those signs back up because we have a game to get back to, everyone. Friends, take it away.
There is a lot on the line with this match. It doesn't really feel like, you know, if either team wins, if Sen win, they're the ones on the precipice of it. They don't exactly lock up playoffs, but it is one step closer. That stepping stone will get them to that point. It's a vital one.
Could end up being a pivotal match. There is no team in Americas that's guaranteed. We're not like some of the other regions that already have a top team secured for champs. Senna looking good, but they need to win games like this to prove that it's possible.
Hit the pistol round. Slightest bit of util going to be used to just push away crew from the angles, and they're going to leave TenZ posted.
Yeah, TenZ loves fighting over A ramp. I think that's been a tendency that you can look at all throughout the way that Sen have played on Split. Ever since he swapped over to Omen, he's gonna potentially have a fight. Those starts backing off as crew takes space, probably based on that wall going up.
It's good information. I mean, John's on the other side of the map. He does give it up. Just a jump spot, maybe making a little bit too much noise there. Knows that lost control of Heaven. Gives some free reign. Is he going to be sending it forwards now into the A site? Rest of the team, bit of a tap. Heat looking for any sort of response. Look at how fast. I mean, Sentinels already with control up onto Heaven. They don't have ramp control though. They're going to be facing this one. This is a call that's being made by crew. Fast onto it now. The Mels are still holding onto this paranoia. Dominating this position. Pushing them away. Sen are also going to be reacting nice and quickly. Trailblazer clearing the corners. Seeing two. Spotting it up. Zekken could get his head ripped straight off here. Potentially isolated, up and alone, and Melter finally cleans him up, takes him out. Wasn't expecting that second layer of things. John QT there waiting. Now, the time ticking, options running dry and short. Crew with pure domination. Sweep their way through into the site. Sassy cannot oblige.
A nice pistol round from crew. You get to see those good retake protocols still coming through from Sentinels. They take a Heaven control, go swing through over to the screens, and then start the retake. But crew have a ramp the whole time, and Mel's positioning is really nice. He never gets a chance to use that paranoia, which is a big piece of utility advantage for them in the post. But his positioning is just really good. He's always there to trigger some kind of A-ramp fight, and he's there on the re-push through Heaven if his team needs. A very different style to begin this one for the attack half from crew, putting a lot of focus on getting A-ramp control at the beginning of the round. Whereas it felt like Sentinels were playing mostly 1-3-1s. Zelsis would take B main, John would try to pressure over towards A, and then the three would come up the gut. This is a contact. And good diligence to check TenZ.
And crew will throw a lot of that into the mix. John has not been dealt with. Classic almost getting away with it. Even in and out of the cages, surely doesn't do it. Zelsis spammed away. Will fall.
And a strange timing on timing happening over here towards B as well. And this is another one of those situations where Klaus might not want to give away the fact that he came up through B Heaven. But at this point, it might just feel like he walked through mid.
Ooh, it's precise.
These classics are doing work.
They really are. Ah, hello. Giving it up. Right click could have blessed him, but Sassy doesn't get the kill.
Making sure that they get the best possible guns into the next round. So Vandal and Bulldog saved through. Not too bad of a situation. One player on crew still had the pistol. So they'll get together a little bit of a dangerous buy. I think Sen should already anticipate that this is heading over towards A-ramp. Crew are trying to early round condition really heavily here. It's amazing to me how good the calling has been from crew. I know that they're behind. They could end up losing this series 2-0. But it's just amazing to see careers revitalized of people like Klaus, who's picked up the IGLing back again.
making some very good reads. Especially into the mid-round portion of things.
Poison orb emitting.
This round right here, though, for Crew is going to be an important obstacle. See if they can overcome it. Elza holding onto the flash. Just in case there was that refight potential by Sen. They've got it essentially for free. Flash will confirm it, making a lot of noise here. Sen are surrounding this position, and they're choosing to flood and really trying to fight this one with the util in hand. Celsius still tucks himself. Will he even be able to get out? Yes, he will. Just about dodging those bullets. Still inside the smoke, spraying away with the rifles. No kills claimed.
A lot of damage. Zekken's looking for that lurk player. You're expecting Crew to have somebody in that kind of spot. We can see that that's not the case.
Finally with the plant down.
3 players on site. That's not exactly optimal, I would say. Normally you want to be looking for a place to dominate, like A ramp or screens.
Last time Crew won that round because they had control of ramp. This time giving it up freely. Klaus, he's got a lot to do in this spot. Just shifting really around, just trying to play the timings. Backing around these walls still. Now an off angle being played, but he's cleaned up. This is methodical by Sentinels. Looking to now see if they can piece it together. Out through main, hearing it from behind. Celsius with the awareness. 1 player to stand. Melzer finally wrangling it. 4 bullets left though, and 2 players to deal with. Sticking. Tens. He got this one in the bag. Yes, he does.
Perfectly timed for Sentinels. It's difficult to do as much as they do in the retake while still playing within that 45-second timer. You know, they're trying to do a lot of stuff all at the same time. They go down ramp, they're watching for the lurker. As Celsius commits to the retake, he puts his wall back up so that Shy doesn't have that angle. They're also trying to make sure that they stop any kind of screens push. And all of that with less than a second on the clock towards the end. Things can go wrong kind of easily. They're just trying to make sure they're precise with it. So after a number of rounds of dominating towards A ramp to start, Crew are now going to lean over towards B main. Sassy's playing this pretty aggressively because it's only been Klaus here before.
Trailblazer through mid, contact plays. Sassy won't be punished.
But he sees all 3 and he realizes he could be.
Getting the hell out of there. Backs away. Tens now is going to be the one to take the point in contact. As soon as he hears a bit of that util, he is in danger of being contacted on, but his position's being held.
I quite like inserting Klaus into this position up in mid. Getting him deep here. If you go and pressure over towards B heaven, you're never worried about your flank, and if there are any rotates, Klaus can potentially pick him up.
Shy in that spot though, but still. Send it with the util. Have that B heaven control. Zekken is very aware of this still. Tucks his head straight to the ground. Falling around here. It's lead raining down onto the Hell player. Zekken still. That's an awkward angle. Game of timings, and he ends up losing it now with only 2 players left. Tens taking a risk there in a moment, realizing he had to offset the advantage. Crew have that round win.
Superb setup by Crew. They take B main control, push Sassy back away, insert Klaus. Take some mid control. Insert Shy up there. Got the names mixed up earlier on. But once you've got Shy up in male and Klaus in B main, then as the rest of the pack comes through B heaven, the timing and the spacing is so tight. It's lovely. And Sen need to find those mid-round situations to disrupt what they're going for. You have to play disruptive on defense in this meta. That's what all the top teams are up to. Yeah. You can't just allow the attacking team to slowly take map control and then collapse on top of you. Otherwise, you get in situations like this. Even though the crossfires are good, the attackers just have it all. They're for choice. And that's actually what MTA was talking about when Liz was saying, what adjustments would you have tried to make on Crew's defensive half? He was saying, don't just play everything for retake. Try to find those mid-round timings to be more active. And I think that's an example in this half where Sen didn't quite find that timing. And now they're knocked down onto an eco. It was a great result at the half. 8-4 up for Sentinels. But we saw already on Lotus how quickly those leads can erode.
Yeah, they can turn on their heads pretty quickly.
And yes, Sen were able to fend off that comeback. That doesn't mean they always will. Crew are breathing down their neck.
So Sentinel's going to be using this opportune time, heading into the eco. to talk about in the timeout, even further beyond as well into this next upcoming round. Obviously, it's the buy round that's going to be important for them. Maybe going to be talking about that, just missing that step, that re-clearing into the mid-rounding where they lose sight and hold of where Crew might be playing towards.
Yeah, and think about it. If they had gone for a re-clear towards B main, they could have found an easy kill onto Klaus. If they went for a re-clear into mid and male, they had about 15 seconds where they could have found a big kill onto Shy. So there are these opportunities. It's just about reading the map perfectly, which is impossible for you or I when we play ranked, but it's incredibly feasible for these top minds of the game.
His position has been cleared, but Crew insert a lot of contact plays into their own playbook, really. Forces out a util from Sentinels. They were looking to re-clear out towards ramp. Sweeps through. Zekken's now in a very, very committed position, but maybe precisely what they ordered. Stinger in his hands. Flash 2, at least for the Trailblazer. Excuse me. Spots him out. Pre-fired in. Good expectation by Crew.
Yeah, even if Kesnet had not got those 2 kills, he still had a showstopper to clean this up, so it's not going to quite work when you raise his ult online. I do just want to point out, though, for a future round, look at this cam over towards B main. I think that might be an adjustment coming out the timeout.
I've got your trail.
Allows Sentinels to stack in this direction, but the stack is not going to work out without rifles on board.
A lot of respect shown there by Crew, just committing the Seekers into it, making sure that they can clean up the rounds.
Yeah. Still taking the showstopper, though. Yeah. Which is another massive tool for being able to deal with what Sentinels are looking for. But that cam, I think, could end up changing the tide of the game a little. It's going to allow you good information. And it's going to allow you to stack over towards A if Crew start with this default towards A ramp, which is the one they've gone for most of this attack half. This time, though, not looking to begin in that direction. It might feel like that. Heat probably still going to apply the same level of utility over towards A. And here's where the cam could end up being really important. Broken right at the beginning, though. They know that John is playing B.
Trailblazer just spotting the 1. It's Klaus who intentionally gets seen by it. Makes it feel like there's just the 1 player here. The rest of Crew now grouping up, including the Spike heading over into this direction.
They might be making a read here on the fact that John started over towards B, so in theory the trips should be on B as well. But John has left the trip for his team to play around on the A side, trying to spread that.
It's a tightrope that Zelsis has to walk in mid as well. Needs that mid-round information by peeking, but could easily be punished. We've seen it before.
Ten's looking for a fight, looking for information. This angle is often really good. You've got a little headshot spot as Crew commit into sight. If he swings out a little more to his left.
Flash are going to be seeing it, at least the trip pulling him back and away. Kesnet can't do anything, and Ten's full control. This is his territory up towards A ramp. Will not let anybody step up to him.
Spike down.
Any worthy challenges, Melza finally shows up. With 15 seconds left, Spike drop down. And full committal of the bodies of Sentinels. They know that they've won this round.
Zekken sprinting over to B just in case Melza made a mad dash for the spike and managed to ult out. That's not going to be the case here. Look at that cam again, replaced into B main after 40 seconds. And then also, Ten's going for that re-push over towards A ramp was beautifully timed. Finding that mid-ramp timing to go and gather info, yes, but also to get this angle that I was talking about.
Right there.
Little spot. You've got the backs of players. It's difficult for them to clear that position as they're heading into the site. And Kesnet also got caught by the trip. I don't think he was expecting that to be there. Everything working for Sen. All of those adjustments. But now they go back into a different setup. Much more standard for Sen. So they use their tag timeout to get them a big round. Now they're just hoping they can clean the rest on their own.
See that jiggle, they want to punish it onto Zelsis. As I was mentioning, this mid-round information is really important. The meta we're shifting into, you got to take risks if you want to give your team that info to work on. Zelsis wants nothing to do with it, he's all the way back and around. Here's a re-clear, Sentinels actually making those adjustments, so the flash Didn't connect onto any available player. It is going to be heard by the Crew players, but at least they're taking that position.
Looking really active here on defense side, Sentinels. And without being in control, it really limits the options that Klaus has to work with as a caller. He himself is trying to take A ramp to mitigate that.
Yeah. Cam spots it. There's Klaus. Doesn't really orchestrate too much. Klaus knows that there's a cam active. He's going to be hearing it. And there it is, finally spotted, removed. The rest of his team now following up right behind him, but as anchoring players straight into the fight and into the fray. Do you dare really step up to this challenge? Sean QT, he beckons them in.
Cancelled the ult from TenZ, realizing that they weren't committing to the A site. He goes back over to B.
So a bit of a pump fake of their own by Crew. Paranoia sweeping, now with the satchels, up and over and around, just missing it. John QT, surely you don't survive in this spot. This guy is still staying active and in the fight! 2 drop down. He's made it so much more damn difficult with time against them. Crew stand a chance! This guy's working magic! Wrapping around them and no time left to work with. It's all Sentinels and all the IGL. He set the stage of that one.
What a beast John QT is. He's an animal. One of the biggest reasons that Sentinels are even in the position they're in. The acquisition of this guy from Tier 2. How did you find a player who's so damn good? And he's also able to call at an elite level. But I mean, just his timing and movement and his rifling, it's all spectacular.
And certainly these big ults online, the defensive setup is going to be shifting and moving. Look at this round here. You heard the trip is pulled back, actually. Not broken. It's John QT setting up the unbreakable one, puts it back up in place.
Yeah, that's very nicely done. And TenZ is also on the B line with his operator.
So there's a lot of layers right now to Sentinels. I want to hold this. And Zekken spots a lot of info. Doesn't want any part of it. Backs himself away, but Sassy, how's he getting away with it? Repositions back. He's going to be tucking into an anchored position into the A site. And Crew left to really just ponder, wonder, what the hell do we do?
Normally you can pause in A heaven here and threaten that you might be going through vents to B, but are you really going to do that against a pit?
Yeah.
I just don't see how that's going to happen.
They're all getting funneled out through spawn. They've only got John QT holding this one, Cage.
Sentinels know that they have to go into the A site here. And these positions are immaculate.
Collapsed and ready, Zekken. He falls, TPing around, dodging that paranoia, this time not getting away with it. John QT still there, hearing that drop down, a few bullets. Impeccable game sense. Just expecting that player there. Damage done to Klaus. He's going to be able to get healed up. This post-plant positioning of the Crew players isn't ideal. Everybody's stacked up over towards the site.
But TenZ is also retaking this with an op. Unless they get given a pick right off the beginning, I could see Sen not even wanting to opt in.
Yeah. Chances, but unlikely.
Felt like their defensive positioning was immaculate, but the shots just didn't get hit. TenZ is going to send a paranoia. They're going for it.
There's a lot. Holding for the swing. Heat tucked in the position. The Benji Fishy spot.
And they wanted to send it just for one.
Yeah.
Crew are going to be able to get out without dying to this. So yeah, after all of the incredible moves that John was able to put on in the previous round, his teammates just couldn't quite deliver from similar spots. Sassy anchoring the same kind of area, couldn't work around that angle as well. Oh, what a shot that was, though, to shut down Zekken. Beautiful.
So tense between these two teams. We're winning that, using their own timeout.
Yeah, using a timeout after winning that round. And what a difficult one it was. An operator over towards B that they'd never had any information about. A pit in mid. They were forced to go into a 3-player stack on the A site. And they just hit beauties. Annihilated Zekken, who had an incredibly hot opening to this map and is now sat at 16 and 16. So he's cooled off ever so slightly. They know... You know what? I'm not even sure they do know that there's an op on the other side. Did Crew interact with it at all?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I don't think they did.
It was just holding for the B hold.
Yeah.
Attempting a retake, but I don't think there was a shot fired.
No, I think he retook with the paranoia. I don't think he did anything.
You might be able to read it if you hold tab and look at the money, maybe.
I mean, the money's been good for Sen.
Yeah.
So...
Been up and down.
I think there's a decent chance here that Crew are still unaware that TenZ has an op. And TenZ is still playing it across the same line over here towards B main. Shy normally playing this one with quite a lot of discipline though. Unlikely to go wandering in alone.
Deep orb committed just so that he can potentially get through that. There's almost a punish inside. Zelsis. Double digits of health, drop down to 10.
He's been jiggling it at the start of almost every round.
Yeah.
And they've been trying to catch that shot onto him.
Almost there. Re-clear with a Trailblazer. It's very active from both of these teams. Not wasting any time. Set up now for a bit of an explosion.
If the hit goes into TenZ, he's going to be hard-pressed to get value from this op.
They're going to be satcheling through and around the flash. No connection! Second! Sent it flying through. Two return. JungQT.
have retrieved the spike.
He just snaps. Deals with any sort of intruders. And that angle is filthy by TenZ.
Oh, that's so good. It looked like they weren't quite aware that there was an operator into B. Kesnit's first peek, not expecting to get sniped by that. But they ult from Zekken, such a game changer.
Perfect.
He throws it in and gets two, and these are the people supposed to follow up, get deep into sight.
One enemy remaining.
Get Sen up to match point. Their record's not great. We haven't talked about it too much because they still have so many championship points. Maybe it won't end up mattering this season, but only 4-3. They'd love to get a win here. A 5-3 record. Much better chance of getting into playoffs and fighting for one of those top 3 spots at Champions instead of slinking in 4th place.
Yeah, you don't want that. It's nice to have as a backup policy, but you want to fight for your own chance in the playoffs. You got to make it there in the first step. They've had a difficult road. Second half of things for their own season.
Poison's off.
But one more round will do it.
Scout destroyed.
The win in the column. 5-3 being those standings. They're up against some heavy hitters. Crew and Sen both.
I've got your trail.
Seekers by Heat. Attempting to fake that this is like an attempt over towards B, where the rest of the crew creeping and crawling up through the angles, up through ramp, spamming away. Zelsis punish at a jump spot, nasty. Any players left to meet him? What is the call now being made for them? With the Neuro Theft, they spotted it. Know that Heat has gained access over towards B. Heaven and a pivot is in sight. Kesnit is out for a spawn! It means to match there a second. Drops him. Down now to just 2. JungQT will not get away with it. Very committed in terms of the positioning, so Crew are still here. Active in the round, active in the map.
2 massive kills there from the players that you look towards on Crew to deliver results. Kesnit and Heat. Heat was under a lot of pressure. Like you said, it was faking over towards B Heaven. And that's a great one as well. From the player on the bottom of the scoreboard, only Klaus's 5th kill. But a beauty onto Zelsis as he was jump spotting. You see Heat there though, under enormous amounts of pressure. Paranoia being thrown at him while he was in hell. Delivers. The gap, this whole match feels like it's been 2 away. Like Crew are always there, but they're always 2 behind. They're gonna need an explosive end to take us to overtime.
On the precipice. A difficult team to tangle with. JungQT stuck close. Cam's going to be seeing it. More little feeties. And a satchel through. Surely don't commit into this one still. He is cleaned up. Removing the IGL might make things just a little bit easier, but a post-pump positioning here with a Neuro Theft reveals all for Sen. Heat with a plan, going to be pushed back. Along with that, it's going to be the vulnerability wrapping all the way around as the flank occurring. Seekers now popped off. Sweep their way in through the site. Maybe pointing them exactly to where to spam to. If this pit goes down, it could be brutal. Crew, it all stands on this. They're going to stand on business, land the shots. That's all it comes down to right now. Sentinels in control. Perched right up and still this plant not down. Klaus has to commit it. Trailblazer through and there's the connection. Stun in sight. Shy already drops down onto half HP. And it's a slow squeeze from every single angle. Tens remain high ground position. They've got a full wraparound, but into the pit. It comes down to the timing. Shy, Shorty in hand. The series to bank on. Shots going wide. And with the pit falls, Klaus forced to do the most. Potentially there, but not available. Tens. A final finish for it. And Sentinels, the momentum is building for their stage 2 split.
What an electric finish to a game that had it all. I'm just disappointed from a viewer's perspective we didn't get it to see map 3, but Sen were just better today. Only by an inch, by a small margin. Crew kept it close the whole time. But when needed, Sentinels could always rely on a big play or a great read. Remember, this organization, they're famous because they won the first ever LAN event and then they fell off a cliff after that in 2021. This team, this roster, determined not to let history and fate repeat itself. They've come back into stage 2 with so much fire in their belly. Taking down proven heavy hitters already. 5-1, now 5-2 for Crew.
They're going to be climbing understanding themselves. It's so damn important. Speaking to death, but listen. There's some tough contenders for that top 6 in Americas. A lot can shift and change.
We just saw EG looking pretty phenomenal, to be honest with you, in the game against Furia. You got to grind out these tough victories. And yeah, Sentinels, they have a lot of championship points, but prior to this game, they were sat on 9, the same as 100 Thieves. So, you know, even that got a guarantee after winning their kickoff and winning, obviously, in Madrid. We got treated to some unbelievable plays though today. There was enormous amounts of consistency from Kesnit, but there were also electric performances from Zekken, the moments that he was pulling out. And then obviously that one from John as well, in backside of A.
Yeah. I mean, it was bar for bar between the heavy hitters. Zekken and Kesnit delivering for their teams. Deadlifting in some scenarios.
Yeah.
Listen, they were looking sublime overall.
I've got to say, I still do want to see either of these teams look to try to experiment with the new meta. Kesnit, okay, if that hasn't worked for him, fair enough. But I'm hoping against hope that Sentinels are just waiting until we get to playoffs to bring out some kind of Zekken Neon. He just seems, he seems built for it.
It would have to be, right? I mean, maybe they've got it cooking.
Yeah.
Just waiting for playoffs that time. If it's creeping closer, and so is Champs. That's what they're all playing for. We're going to send it out to Liz. She's down on the stage. She's standing by with Tens for the Verizon post-match interview.
Well, Sen City burns red and bright. They're all here for you, Tens. An incredible performance from you. We were just talking. You can hear them. You can hear, obviously, we can all hear them. The stream can hear them. They are so passionate. You have been in the Sentinels organization for a rather long time now. What is it like? I mean, I walked up there and I was handed lumpia from one of your fans, right? Like, you guys are so passionate and considerate. What is it like being a member and a leader of this Sen City community?
Honestly, it's just really amazing having such an amazing fan base supporting Sentinels. Thank you to everyone that came out today. Definitely heard you a lot through the mics of my teammates, so it's been adding the energy up.
Is it hard to focus when you hear all of that, or is it you know, you said bring the energy up? Is it hard to, you know, like not get too energized?
I would say that it's like just the right level. Definitely I hear some stuff in the crowd and it makes me laugh, like at the end of rounds. So it's just been a really fun experience.
Yeah. The first question I want to ask you is Kaplan, not first, I asked you many questions before this. Kaplan talked about switching agents to me in the coach interview to keep kind of the enemy on their toes. As a player, how is that when you're like, all right, guys, deadlock last week, Cypher this week? Is it hard to adjust that quickly? Are you fine with that? Do you enjoy it?
I mean, I'm still an Omen, so I'm chilling. But overall, I think it's really good because it basically keeps our opponents like guessing of what we can run. I do think that's the strong thing about having dynamic comps.
Will we ever see you off? I mean, your Omen is iconic now. Will we ever see you off that iconic Omen, or is there no other controller that can offer that sort of style that you do with Omen? Let him. You're Clove. Oh, I think they want Clove.
I would love to play Clove, honestly. Clove's really fun.
do you think there's a spot in the meta right now with the Neon and the ISO for Clo for that aggressive play style because they play so well with that aggression?
I would say it's kind of hard because the Omen Paranoia is really strong, and I think it finds insane value every round, whereas the rest of Close Kit can be kind of a toss-up, but overall, the character is just amazing to play, and ranked especially.
Yeah. Well, all of the talent that were asked said, all but one, said that we believe that Sentinels were going to make it to champs. Many of us said that you guys were going to win this season. In your current form right now, do you think you will make it to champs?
I think day by day we've been getting better, so I think that's a good sign. And obviously we're just one match at a time until we actually qualify for playoffs and then for champs, hopefully.
So no, is that a no? You don't think right now?
I mean, biasly, yeah.
All right. Well, how do you compare your form to Madrid till now? Do you think you're still trying to reach that form, or do you think you have surpassed it and just trying to get better?
I definitely think there was a form that we obtained in Madrid that was definitely a really high level, and I think it's quite hard to consistently keep up a high level constantly throughout this game. So definitely a little bit of chasing, but I definitely see improvement from before when we were playing in Madrid as well.
Oh, an iconic player who just gave out a PC today, the iBuyPower Ace. Thank you so much, Tens. Everyone give it up for Tens one more time. If you didn't already hear the 11, we're going to send it to the desk. We have a fun little surprise for you, so friends, please take it away.
Indeed we do, Liz. It's everyone's favorite thing to do. Take a bunch of people, put them on a list, and have everyone argue about it. That's right, baby. We're doing power rankings for Stage 2 from Week 1 onward. Now that everyone's been playing, everyone's played, we've seen everything, it's now time to figure out who is better than who. By the way, you wonderful people at home, you can get involved as well. Let us know. Do you think our power rankings suck? Do you think they're awesome? You can just be nice. I don't know. Just vote yes or no in the chat. Anyway.
Stop voting. You can't vote until we've actually done. Like
you can't vote until you see
no.
Yeah, you dang heathens. All right, here we go. First things first. You know what? I have a great one. Let's start with G2. Let's bring this over to Ender.
Let's start with G2.
Where does G2 get place, Ender?
This is tough because I feel like I want to get a feel for some of the other top dogs.
That's fine. Hey,
in this one.
Things can move. Things can move.
My preliminary placement. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna put him in number 4.
Number 4.
That's
okay.
pretty
Number 4. It's a little generous.
Okay.
That's a safe area.
Honestly, I think the
move.
Postmasters nerf is very real.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that especially with like the brand new patch, and that could actually be a reason to put them much lower. But honestly, like I have a tough time thinking that with the resurgence, some of our teams that were looking a lot stronger at the top of the year, like a Sentinels, for example, I have a tough time saying that they're going to be the top dogs again.
Okay, well, speaking of Sentinels, here we have it. That's right, a little Vanna White action.
Yep.
Who wants to do this? Oh, look at you. You're such a fiend. You just want the adoration of the Sen fans so bad. You're disgusting.
No, I don't want the adoration of the Sen fans. I
You're
think
gonna put them 11th? You're
what?
That's actually crazy.
I can't actually reach this.
Yeah, there you go. That almost made all the
honestly
producers
think
worried.
that Sentinels is looking, in my opinion, like the best team in the league right now. They're playing
They have won 2 games.
Solid. They've won 2 games.
Whoa.
But honestly, I'm not even looking necessarily at the game today, yesterday. I'm thinking more big picture. What are we seeing? Great mid-rounding generally from on QT. Some variety in their comps. They've already shown us 2 different looks on Lotus. I think that's huge for a longer season, for prepping for champs.
Sure.
Tens and second, back in peak form. I'm seeing a lot of the same things that we saw at Madrid starting to come back for this team.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can really make an argument for any other team to be ahead of them right now.
Everything you said, real, true, base, but also number 1 makes sense because otherwise we'd all have to fear for our lives. So I think it all works out there. It all works out for everyone. Everyone's happy and safe. Myrna, here you go. What you got for Loud?
I'm telling you, Loud is so back.
Loud
They're pretty back.
Loud is
She keeps
so
saying
back.
it. She keeps saying it.
I think
Mija.
Are we just going to lock in? Okay.
3.
doing that.
Why 3?
Because hear me out. They're so back. That's
They're so back.
Do you have any actual opinions?
No, genuinely, I think the way that they're playing, the way that they played last week was so good. I felt like they were so solid. I felt like they lost kind of in a manner of small mistakes, and they were facing Jog.
Okay. How do you rate the Sodok duelist era?
I think it was pretty good.
Okay.
He was slow. as Neon, and he uses util really good.
Famously
Only
good.
one day.
I think
Only
three is
one
a
day.
little
All
generous.
right.
Yeah, I think 3 is generous.
Well, let's do Cloud9 then,
Perfect
shall we?
middle of the pack.
Perfect middle of the pack. Where
I'll
would
let
you
you
like
do
to
this
place
one.
them?
The muddy men, the muddy men of C9.
I feel like they weren't super muddy the first time.
I don't think they were super muddy either. And
Where would you
honestly,
place them?
like, I'm giving Oxy more and more stocks.
He's so good, man.
Oh, he's so good. I'm going.
Get a placement in there. We
I
can
think
move
I'm
it
gonna.
later.
I don't feel great about this because of where we have like some of
we
our other
haven't,
teams.
We haven't placed
You got a buzz.
Well, my mic is falling off. What are they doing?
broke it.
Okay.
He got a buzz and everything just
I want EG, but you can have her do crew.
I can do crew.
Okay.
Sure.
Give me some crew. Give me some crew.
I think
We're
you
really
put crew
flooding
right
the
now.
upper echelon.
Yeah, I mean, right
Way
now,
too early.
Okay, I feel like they're...
100 Thieves doesn't have a place right now.
I'm sorry, you know,
doesn't.
I'm just gonna try
EG
to. I'm
doesn't.
gonna calm down. I'm gonna make things easier. I'm gonna make things
Okay,
easier.
wait, whoa.
Whoa. Okay, well, you know what I mean.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's not-
I don't think that's unreasonable.
MIBR is playing with 2 subs in. Fury has looked better. Like, I want to give them credit. I think they've been playing better than they were last season, quite significantly. But still, I don't think they're on the top of the
They can't turn their year around. I don't think so.
No.
I'm going to give them a solid 8. I actually think...
The 5-1 team. They're 5-2 now.
They're 8?
No, but hear me. Look at everyone else that's left on this board, though.
I would put Crew a little higher, honestly.
This. I think what we need to do is we need to make space.
We got to nuke
messed
it.
up 3 through 5.
We got to
3 through
nuke
5
it.
is a calamity.
I'm moving Cloud9 down.
Okay.
I'm moving
Loud down.
I'm gonna wait to reserve Loud's position because I think that EG is number 3. They are the most innovative team in the league right now. They are pulling out tons of new stuff in the meta. Their util combos are on point. Jojmo is back to championship winning form. I have so much faith in this team. I think they're making it to champs.
Who wants NRG?
Myrna said she really wanted to talk about NRG.
She really did.
Yeah.
She really did. Where would you put NRG in this? The Fiend. Oh,
wait, production, what are we doing? We're flaming?
Wait. They are so
The Price is Right?
out of form. Like, watching them play is just kind of like nails on a chalkboard almost, where you want them to be good. They're so close, but they just...
But they had like
have
no
such a
time. They had
bad-
like no time to practice. Like,
I think I don't disagree with you, but I don't think it's a fault
You
of
get
their own.
that?
They had very
Yeah,
little
yeah,
practice
yeah.
time.
You
I think
get
they're a team
this.
that's going to build into the top. Levy, it's okay. We need to re-put 100 Thieves on here, and I think they're number 2.
So far, chat
I
does
think
not
they're
agree
number 2.
with our
well,
power
yeah, because
rankings.
the top side is a travesty.
They say you guys are frauds. They're saying it.
But where is 100
I mean, it's
Thieves?
pretty close.
Do you want number 2?
No, not at all. Not even close.
I want 100
number
Thieves number 2. I do. Yes.
I think we should not.
I am the ultimate 100 Thieves Sem believer.
would
I think that's
swap
correct. I think EG is too generous.
You think so?
I think so.
I wanna see
think they're-
another
I think
game of EG.
I think G2 is too generous.
I agree.
That's the new one. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
G2 just got bumped all the way down.
G2 had a great playoffs, but I do not think that like, and obviously like Masters, they
They
also
were
performed,
incredible
but,
in
like,
Shanghai.
All right, so we
I
have
think
2 more
that's-
spots. So you'll place Lev there and then Loud in 4th?
Oh, well, that's kind of what we have to. We might have to. Oh, okay. Loud there, tentatively. But the question here is Loud above G2? Because I don't think. Oh, I
Chat,
kind
let
of
us know what you
believe.
think.
I kind of
We
believe
don't
in
have
the
a lot of tape
Masters
on
nerf.
Loud. This is kind of a like throwing.
This is
darts.
this is off of
I don't
week
know.
1. Sadak Duelist.
I feel like part of the problem is
don't
in the
know.
middle of the pack, you just have so
I mean, it's
much.
really hard to know.
It's very hard. I think your top and your bottom is pretty easy to justify.
I'm really comfortable with our top 3. I think this middle is kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable with our bottom 3.
Okay, I'm okay with this. I will put my reputation for whatever that is.
We're kind of pogging about EG right now, and it could be justified, but I think it's a bit preemptive.
It could also be complete. Make us
Well,
look like
let's see how
fools.
our power rankings sit, and also let's look at the standings where we are
the
right
two
now.
best teams are 7th and 8th on a great
Sixth
list,
power
guys.
ranked
Yeah,
team
good
is in
work.
first, and your
crazy.
second place team is in 8th in our power
Hey, you know what I'll
rankings.
tell you though? I nailed MIBR and Furia. Nailed it.
You absolutely did. But there you can see the breakdown there with Sentinels getting that win, more championship points added, which of course, you know, that's a nice thing. But what's even nicer is seeing that record continue to go up for Sen. They're certainly clicking, hitting a rhythm that is quite scary for a lot of other teams.
As a reminder, though, to Timmy watching at home,
Oh, Timmy.
a power ranking is not about the standings or who we think is going to make playoffs or who we think is making champions. It is about current form.
Exactly.
And I think our power ranking is wrong, but I think it's not that wrong.
Well, I think the great thing about current form is that our 10th place team beat our 2nd place team, and that really makes our list valid.
Yeah, that's really good, actually.
Great work, team. Okay.
You know what? I take it back. I will not stake my reputation on this list. Y'all call
This is a travesty.
This is not good.
Absolute travesty across the board.
Get it
Can't
off the
believe I'm on the
screen.
camera while this is going on. Unbelievable. Anyway, thank you for taking me off the camera there. Here we go. Let's take a look at what we're going to be checking out tomorrow. We got a Brazilian showdown with Loud versus MIBR, and then Leviathan will take the stage after their disappointing exit from Master Shanghai to face off against a recuperating 100 Thieves who are licking their wounds after losing.
They are so cooped. They have fully cooped from week 1 to week 2.
I feel like I was cooking for that whole explanation, and then you came in and threw it. Unbelievable.
You and I'm a chicken.
So today we got a bunch of awesome compositions, and then Sentinels decided not to do anything different.
Yeah.
But
And Crew, they shook hands on it.
And they really did. They really did. But you know what? I would say this is a damn good way to start things off for Super Week. Exciting games across the board. We got more coming at you tomorrow. Big matches. Every match is going to be pivotal as these teams are going to be clawing their way into playoffs and Champion Soul. He's doing something. I don't like it.
No,
He's moving. You madman.
Turn it off.
That's it. Turn off the show. We can't do this.
I wasn't here.
A pivotal matchup for both teams, as is every single match in this stage. Furia got their first win of the season, so if there's anyone who's feeling it, and it's got to be Furia, this matchup is going to be intense.
Eric is going to go for a second dip. The thrash is so good. Oh, hold the phone. They're trying to get aggressive here. They're spamming through the smokes.
Jajimo up on the rooftop. Doesn't even need to get the first blood. A-Pop running in.
Really nice paranoia.
No way.
Dude, unbelievable from Superman again. Havoc. Oh dear. That's a mess. Havoc still has a shot at this.
He just got dunked on.
Havoc was around him, though. Now he spots him. A-Pop falls. Oh. And Fury are on the board. They're going to try to retake the side here. The spike got planted. Paranoia out. Superman will fall. 13-4. The way of evil geniuses. It was close for the first 2 rounds of the series, and it wasn't at any point.
Sentinels showed us all that little is going to stop them on their path to playoffs. Meanwhile, for Crew, an unknown entity coming into this one.
Crew should be set up for this one nicely, just playing this one together and already flooding through with the kills. Kesnet already look at the position being played, tucked. Safety for Zelsis. Kesnet, crosshair placement, wasn't quite on point for that one. What is going to be the answer from Crew here? Surely you back away. Do you refight this? But the spike is hard committed. Kesnet is way ahead of the curve. The rest of his team cannot stand to it. This trip is getting so much value. Somehow just chewing them all up. Sure to invest a lot of these guns and rifles. Zekken tucks his head straight to the ground. Falling around here. It's lead raining down onto the Hell player. Zekken still wants him raining down a bit of that lead. Up close. No way, Sassy! And Sentinels. The momentum is building for their stage 2 split.